Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about something that so many of us go through, but we often do it in silence. We're talking about that quiet, sometimes really painful, struggle with doubt in our faith. And we're going to explore this using a really powerful piece from Teresa Kay's blog, Sunshine and Faith Evermore, that offers a perspective that might just completely change how you see your own journey.
You know that feeling, right? When you find yourself thinking, what is wrong with me? Or why can't I just believe the way I used to? If you've ever been there, please know you are so not alone. These questions can feel incredibly isolating, making us think we're somehow failing God the moment doubt starts to creep in.
But let's just pause and ask a question. What if doubt isn't the enemy? What if it's not a sign that you're failing, but a sign of something else entirely? This idea right here is full of so much hope, and it's exactly what we're going to unpack.
Okay, so first things first, we have to tackle the biggest source of the problem, and that is this huge unspoken myth about what faith is even supposed to look like. So many of us carry this assumption that real faith is supposed to be steady, certain, and just unshakable. Like we should feel confident all the time. But that single assumption has a really painful consequence. When doubt shows up, and it will, shame follows right on its heels, telling us that we've done something wrong.
But the Bible actually tells a very different story. Doubt isn't some detour off the path of faith. A lot of the time, it pops up when our faith has to grapple with real life, with real pain and questions that don't have those nice, easy answers. It's actually a sign that our faith is engaged, not that it's gone missing.
And there's this one story from the book of Mark that just illustrates this so perfectly. Let's take a look.
So picture this. You have a father who is at his absolute wit's end. His son is suffering terribly, and he brings him to Jesus. He wants so badly to believe that a miracle is possible, but he's also struggling with the limits of his own hope.
And in this raw moment, he says what has to be one of the most honest prayers in all of Scripture. He cries out, "I do believe. Help me overcome my unbelief." I mean, think about that. It's not this polished, confident statement. It's messy. He's reaching. He's literally holding both his belief and his unbelief in the same breath and just handing them both over.
And Jesus' response here it's everything. Notice what he doesn't do. He doesn't correct the guy. He doesn't shame him or demand that he have more certainty. Nope. Jesus just meets him right there in that complicated, messy middle ground. This shows us that our honest doubts, they don't scare Jesus at all.
And that story, it leads us to a really big shift, a major reframing of this whole conversation. It's all about understanding what the true opposite of faith really is.
And here it is. This is the central idea from Teresa Kay's work. And honestly, it is a total game changer. Doubt is not the opposite of faith. Walking away, disengagement, that's the opposite of faith.
Think about it like this. Doubt and questioning can totally live inside the circle of faith. It's that overlapping space where we're still wrestling, still hoping, still reaching. The real danger isn't the questioning itself. The real danger is when we disengage, when we stop bringing our questions and just sort of withdraw from the relationship altogether.
So what this means is, if you're asking hard questions, it means you still care. If you're wrestling with your faith, it means it's still alive and active. And if you're bringing all your uncertainty to Jesus, even if it feels like you've only got a weak grip, you are still turning toward him. These are not signs of failure, my friends. They are signs of life.
This all leads us to a much more courageous and, frankly, a way more realistic definition of what it even means to have a strong faith. You see, a lot of us were taught this old rule, right? That strong faith is totally unshakable. But what if there's a new rule? What if strong faith isn't unshakable, but resilient? What if it's simply the faith that stays? The faith that keeps showing up with its questions instead of just shutting the door? The faith that says, I don't understand this, but I'm still here.
So what's the bottom line? Faith isn't asking for perfect certainty. It doesn't need you to have all the answers. It's just asking for your honesty. It's an invitation to show up exactly as you are, with whatever bit of belief or fragile hope you can muster in that moment. That's the kind of faith Jesus welcomes.
So let's bring this all home. I want to talk directly to anyone out there who feels like they're in that place of questioning right now.
If this is describing you, please hear this. You are not disqualified. You have not failed. You haven't somehow wandered beyond God's reach. The very fact that you are wrestling with this stuff means you're still present, you are still engaged, and that matters more than you know.
You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't have to silence your questions or pretend to have answers you don't. Sometimes the most powerful and courageous thing you can do is just stay. Stay connected, stay open, stay willing. And you know what? That is enough. That is a profound act of faith all by itself.
So please remember this. A faith that stays still counts. A faith that wrestles still belongs. And a faith that doubts but refuses to let go, that is still faith. You are not failing. You are simply on the journey. And just like that father in the story, you are being met with so much love right where you are.